It's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today we have a fun video. I'm gonna go over how to use the Oramask stencil film. Now this is the 813 Oramask stencil film. Now this is made by Oracal. It is blue in color. I think sometimes you can get it in gray. And if you look at it closely, I'm not sure if it'll pick up on camera, it is semi-transparent. So for today's project, you're going to need your stencil film. You're also gonna need whatever you're going to use it on. And I have this board I bought at Michael's at Halloween time, but we're gonna paint it. It was originally $14.99 and I think they had these 75% off when I purchased them. And that's one thing I always try to tell y'all to do is, like, whenever you're looking for projects, when you see things on sale that you can use, pick them up, save them if you have the storage and the budget for it. So you're gonna need your project, you're gonna need paint, which I'm just gonna use some white acrylic paint. I'm using like a stamping sponge brush, your easy weeding wooden pick, and a squeegee. Now, if you'll give me a moment to change the camera angle, we will go over how to make this. So as you can see, we are in Cricut Design Space. So we're going to go ahead and go to upload. I'm going to choose my Hello Spring wreath, and I have plenty of videos showing you how to download and import in from Patreon. And this file is available on our Patreon page. For our $4 or more a month Patreon supporters, it is for personal use. And then if you are a $10 or more a month Patreon supporter, it is available for you to use commercially. So what I'm going to do first is, as you can see, I brought the file in. We're going to go ahead and weld this together so it makes it one piece, if it wants to do what it's supposed to. There we go. So our board is about 10.5 inches square. So I want to make the size of the design about 9.25 inches wide by about a little under that tall. Now, one thing I want to do to make it a little bit easier for me to line up on my board is I want to add a square border around it. So I just go to the shapes option and I chose the square. And I'm going to go ahead and make this 10 inches wide. Now I'm going to go ahead and select all, and I'm going to go ahead and go over here to align, and we're going to go ahead and center. Okay, so now everything is centered, and I want to go ahead and slice this design because I'm going to paint my white paint onto the black background. So as you can see, we have, this is the portion that's gray from the box. We're going to go ahead and delete that. And we're going to go ahead now and delete the original black image. There we go. So now this is ready to cut. So I'm going to go over here to make it. And this is a stencil, so we don't have to take and mirror it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over just a hair and down a hair, because I like to have a little bit more border when I'm cutting something like this. I just feel like it makes it a little bit easier. So now I'm going to go ahead and click continue. There we go. And I'm going to go to browse all material, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to type in stencil. There we go. And we're going to choose stencil vinyl right here. And we do want to use this setting because this is a tad bit thinner than our regular. Okay. Where did it go? Let's try that again. Okay. So I'm just retyping that in. Click done for our material settings. So as you can see, it's set to stencil vinyl. Now, if you'll give me a moment to change the camera angle, I'll show you how to put this together. Okay, so I already started weeding my stencil material, so it didn't take too long on camera. So we're going to go ahead and weed out our letters so you can see how it's supposed to look. And pretty much it is a very easy material to work with. But you do need to double check. Sometimes, you know, And even though like Cricut has settings in the machine for it, sometimes you do have to play with your settings depending on what blade you're using, how old your blade is, that type of thing, because you know, it is what it is. So there we go. And if anything lifts, kind of like how that is for me, I'm just gonna lay it back down. And I didn't worry about a lot of the detail in like the little leaves and stuff for my design, just because time. But you know, if you want to worry about it, you can. So just to kind of give you a heads up. And that's part of the fun of it too, is, you know, you get to play with this. You get to see what's going to work the best for you and your project. But you could use any old piece of wood that you have to do this. You don't have to use something particularly from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. There we go. Now we just have these. I love old-timey fonts that look like almost like a typewriter font, like what Nadia used on the hello portion. So now I'm going to take, I just cut down a piece of transfer mask. This is the Oracal MT80P. And all the products, for the most part, other than like the paint and the wood, is available on our website if you're interested. And we love it when you shop from us, but if you don't, that's okay too. So I'm just gonna take and use my transfer mask, cover everything up, squeegee it down. I got some wrinkles. That's what happens when you rush it. It's okay. So now we're gonna go up here to the top, make sure everything's squeegeed. And I still, like, just when I do vinyl, I like to roll it. My blade on my Cricut is so dull. I need to change it. And now I think on this camera you can tell a little bit better about what I meant when I said it's transparent. There we go. Just walk it down. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the backing off of it. So we're gonna take our sign and lay it right there. Kind of look at everything, make sure she's pretty well centered. If I were doing this as like more of like a real project, I guess is the best way to describe it, I would take a little bit more care in how I'm laying it out. But because this is kind of more for a tutorial and I want to keep things faster, I'm not super concerned with everything. So there we go. Okay, so you can see how everything looks. It looks good. Now I do see there's a piece that I had dropped back on there. So I'm gonna remove that. Okay, so you can see that the stencil is laid down nice and smooth on here. So I'm gonna take our paint. This is the Americana Decor Chalky Finish. This came from Hobby Lobby in the shade Refreshing. So there we go. Now I'm just gonna take my sponge brush and I'm just going to take and wipe it off. And then we're just going to dab, dab, dab. Don't rub. Dab works best whenever you're doing a stencil piece to keep your paint smooth and to help keep it from going under like the stencil lines. My head is pounding today, guys, so if I seem a little off, that's what it is. You know, I still suffer from fibromyalgia, even though some days are good, some days are bad, but that doesn't mean like I still gotta get work done. The life of being a YouTuber slash business owner. But you can see, like, I don't keep any like big globs of paint on anything. I try to keep it nice and smooth and just kind of work it out. And you can do this till you have a thicker coat of paint. I like to have mine where it's kind of thin, where you can still see some of the black underneath, because to me that makes it look more farmhouse decor, if that makes sense. So just keep I love the sounds. Like, I don't know. There's something soothing to me about whenever you're painting. Or doing any type of woodworking. So I'm just going through and making sure all of the letters are covered. Because since this is kind of clear, and you can definitely tell it's kind of clear now whenever you're looking at it on the black backing. There we go. Okay, so I think that's got a pretty good coat. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the corner where my transfer, or not my transfer, where the stencil material is. And we're just going to take and remove that. But see how nice and crisp those lines are? This is a very easy material to work with. So now I'm gonna kind of go in for our center. Again, I like to remove, I feel like it's easier to remove like any type of material that you're using for a stencil when it's wet. But you do have to be careful, because whenever you are working with it and it's wet, if it falls back down on itself, you will have a mess on your hands. But you can see the process. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go off camera, finish pulling this up, and then I will show you the finished project. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, or give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. But I guess that's it. Don't forget we post new videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.